Welcome to the computer age. 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 Welcome to the 21st century.
Exciting.
Welcome to the computer age. Welcome to the computer age. Welcome to the computer age.
Oh, that is exciting.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Ladies, thank you guys for joining us again. This is week 38, 39 of doing these. We've been doing these for 38 weeks. This is crazy. This week I'm super excited. We're gonna have a fun time. We have Drew Nugent with us. He's the East Coast authority on vintage jazz. He's amazing. We were just doing a sound check before we started, and it was just amazing. It was awesome. I think you guys are totally gonna enjoy this. So let me bring him in here, and I hope you guys enjoy this week's program. Here we go.
Well, hey there. Thank you for the introduction, Steve, and thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. This is my first time. Hope you like my makeshift tip sign. I didn't get a chance to print out the new one, but I just kind of cut off the part where it said Fridays just to prevent any confusion from my wonderful audience out there in internet land. As Steve said, my name is Drew Nugent. No relation, thank goodness, and everything that is holy up above and below, for that matter. I specialize in playing piano, cornet, some other novelty instruments we got here, the melodica, the teapot. Yes, the teapot, the unofficial eighth wonder of the world. All about that, more to come. We got a few other things floating around here. I don't know where they went. They're just... It's a madhouse here. My place has been described as a cross between a haberdashery and a museum. And it's both. Everything's for sale, baby. Even me. And like I said, I like to play old jazz music. Old-ass jazz. Hot jazz. Traditional jazz. Vintage jazz. Whatever you want to call it. Just don't call it Dixieland, all right? Ugh. We call it pre-swing. We call it a lot of things. Most of the time, we just call it music. But this was styles that were particularly popular from the turn of the century, the 1900s through the 1930s, especially the 1920s, which has got to be one of my favorite decades. And it was a crazy time. Crazy time. Sheath the sword. That's old-fashioned gal. What a tune. What a tune indeed. And I pardon any of my clinkers, as we call them, any of those sour notes. It is quite crazy trying to play these two instruments at the same time. Wonderful instruments they both are, but you're playing in two different keys, if I can explain this somehow. This is tuned, this cornet, this is a 1925 CG Con Victor model cornet, one of the most popular horns ever made and used in the jazz communities from the pretty much the 19 teens all the way up through the 30s. And they continued to make the model, I believe, well into the 60s. That said, it's tuned to what we call concert B flat, ladies and gentlemen, concert B flat. Whereas the piano is, well, the piano is technically whatever key you want the instrument to be in, because all 88 of them can allow you to do that. But I guess you definitely could consider the piano a concert instrument of C. But regardless, let's not go too far down this rabbit hole of musical nerdery. Let's stay to the task at hand. But again, playing in two different keys, so I have to basically transpose up a step from whatever step I'm playing here on the piano. So if I'm playing in B flat on the piano, I'm actually playing in C on this. Make sense? If not, oh well. Just try to keep up, okay? That said, remember my house policy, folks. If you didn't like that one, you're going to hate the next one. But if you do like it, well, please, if you can make out the wonderful lettering on these the signage here, that's my Venmo. It's Drew Nugent. Look for the icon of me sitting on the moon. And below that is my PayPal, which is midnightsocietyjazz@gmail.com. And if you would like to see my musical library, or discography, as it were, my band, the Midnight Society, and I specialize in playing this wonderful old vintage jazz music. And we have listed our complete library online with bonus tracks and everything at Bandcamp. And honestly, we encourage you to buy only from Bandcamp, because otherwise online music sales really don't benefit us, and we really don't see any of the money from the likes of iTunes and Amazon, you name it. But Bandcamp, luckily, lets us keep most of the proceeds. And that is drewnugent.bandcamp.com. Got it? drewnugent.bandcamp.com. All lowercase. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Thank you for supporting music in its dire time of need, ladies and gentlemen. I can't thank you enough, and I'm so glad to be here. Magical memories. Ooh, we got a rattle. That's what you get when you deal with old instruments, ladies and gentlemen. You get rattles and things come loose, and they got to go to the doctor every now and again. All right. Let's play you something. There's a tune from the Marx Brothers film, I think it was Horse Feathers. It's called All God's Children Got Rhythm by Bratislav Kapper. All God's children got rhythm. All God's children got swing. Baby haven't got money. Oh, baby haven't got shoes. All God's children got rhythm. Chase away the blues. All God's children got trouble. Trouble don't mean nothing, mean a thing. When you start to go ho ho hoity ho, troubles all go away. Say all God's children got rhythm. All God's children got trouble. Trouble don't mean nothing. When you start to go on, holy ho, troubles all go away. Say all God's children got. Those children got swing. Yeah, just like I rehearsed it with my little one-man band here. Hope you're enjoying. That was All God's Children Got Rhythm by Bronislaw Kapper. What a name. From that acclaimed Marx Brothers film. I believe it was Horse Feathers. Really hope I didn't get that trivia wrong, especially on my own show here. But it wouldn't be the first time, and I'm sure it won't be the last, folks. That's for darn sure. And for those of you not in the know, I lead and produce and kind of sort of direct, along with the very much needed help of my good friend and manager, Mr. Adam Yetzi. And it's called Nugent's Follies. And we started it locally here in Philadelphia using such historic theaters that actually did house vaudeville shows back in the day. Like the Trocadero. We call it Nugent's Follies, after, of course, Ziegfeld Follies, a little homage to that. But we kind of go a little bit more of the variety vaudeville and sideshow route of things. And it's really been an amazing and wild ride because it went dormant after a while, especially with COVID. And then we were inspired by the likes of the Bindlestiff Circus and some other shows online to make our foray into the virtual world with Nugent's Follies in this ongoing series we call Where's Vaudeville? And we do it every other Friday. That's right, for about an hour from 8 to 9 on Eastern Time. And we feature acts from quite literally all over the world. Some of them actually appear with us live, as it were, on the Zoom. And some of them are only able to send in submissions because depending on the time zone, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning there while we are broadcasting. But then we have some of them who are just as loony as I am, and we'll stay up at 3 a.m. to do a broadcast. So there you have it. That said, we highly encourage you to visit our Nugent's Follies page on Facebook and check out our shows every second Friday and donate heavily to our wonderful performers who are very much in need at this time, just like the musicians and the other entertainers. So please show us your spirit and show us some of your drachmas in the pot, as it were. I feel like a PBS fundraiser right now. Oh, my goodness. All right, onward and upward, or at least onward. Here we go. I'm going to do a song here. It's a it's a song that doesn't want to be played. This is a song that I don't like to read lyrics, so I try to go off memory, and I just have these here for a prompter every now and again. But there was a song called Ever Since the Movies Learned to Talk. That's right. written around 1928, because in 1927, in Philadelphia, at least, we saw the first installations of the apparatus for talking pictures. And if you didn't know this, in the theaters at the time, they had pit orchestras. They had bands that would play in balconies, like saxophone quartets or sextets, literally all just saxophones. And they had an organist or a piano player even. And they said overnight in Philadelphia, and I saw the headline, I think it was an October newspaper from 1927 right here in Philadelphia. It said over 16,000 musicians were put out of work because of talking picture apparatus being installed in all the theaters in Philadelphia, or at least most of them, which is a crazy thought. That's just one city, 16,000 musicians out of work overnight because of talking pictures. So this is a song about the woes of the advent of the talking picture from 1928, ever since the movies learned to talk. All right. As Fats Wallace says, here it is. Oh, great. I got water on my glasses. All right. Oh, that's not going to work at all. We gotta do this. There we go. What do you think of that, huh? Take that, Pavarotti. Science now has really revolutionized the screen. Things out there in Hollywood are not so darn serene. All the stars are in a panic. Here's the reason why. Everyone must talk out loud or kiss the town goodbye. Lots of old-time stars are out of a job. All they do is blubber and sob. Ever since the movies learned to talk. And a red-hot vamp who registers passion sounds as if she's ordering hash. Ever since the movies learned to talk. No, they can't fool you, and they can't fool me. When they open up, it's a squeak. It's a sin. Even Rin Tin Tin has a bark that sounds like a peak. And when the hero sings Asleep in the Deep, he sounds just like Little Bo Peep. Ever since the movies learned to talk. To make a name. Anyone with leather lungs can crash the Hall of Fame. If you know your vodio do and do re mi fa so, just take a train to Hollywood and make a lot of dough. When the villain gets the guile in his toils, she says, take your tiny old poils. Ever since the movies learned to talk. And when Emil Jennings opens his mouth, you'd swear he was raised in the South. Ever since the movies learned to talk. When a dark-eyed dame with a foreign name starts to talk and doing a scene, we all know she's from Buffalo and her Christian name is Levine. Though the hero's big, still everyone knows he makes every stitch of his clothes. Ever since the movies learned to talk. And a baritone who used to sell fish now sings bass for Lillian Gish. Ever since the movies learned to talk. And when you hear the breezes blow through the trees. Oh, that's just a stagehand trying to sneeze. Ever since the movies learned to talk. No, you're just a clerk. If your tonsils work, it's a cinch for you to make good. Spray your throat, hit a high C note, and a hop off for dear Hollywood. You can be a star, all you gotta know is your obo-do-do-do. Ever since the movies learned to talk. Oh, safe, ladies and gentlemen, safe. That's ever since the movies learned to talk. And before I go any further, I want to show you another one of my magical toys I have here. I always have my toys scattered and skewed all over the place. Here's some wondrous things that you can do if you are a horn player. Get yourself one of these old Coke bottles here. They started making these around the 20s. Oh, I keep forgetting. You got to be careful with the microphones. I feel like it's the 1920s again because the microphones are so sensitive to the horns. It's like, I feel like what Louis Armstrong must have felt like when they made him stand in the hallway to record his first records because he overpowered the band with his horn. But Coke bottle mute. Look at that. You can get different tones from moving in and out. Just be careful. Pretty cool, pretty cool. And now here's one of my favorite additions to my mute family. This is made on a 3D printer. There we go. Words, Drew, words. Use them. From Huber Music. They're in New York. They're actually a small business. So if you are a horn player of any ilk, amateur or pro or in between, you should definitely look these up. This is the Pixie. This is the Kelso Pixie from none other than John Eric Kelso. By far one of my favorite horn players in the world, and it's been a lifelong inspiration to me getting into playing horn. And this is a 3D replica of one of the mutes in his collection. And look, it's got a nipple. It's adorable. This is the Kelso Pixie from Huber Music. Pick yourself up one of these bad boys. I'm going to give you a nice demonstration of what this can do, because it can certainly do a lot. You've got the plunger action, which I wish I had 4 hands, because then I could do this, and oh man, I'd really cook it up. I love this. I wish I could fool around with this a little bit more, but not right now, folks. The Kelso Pixie, we're going to feature that, but also, before I forget yet again, the tea kettle. I promised I would explain this wondrous wackadoo instrument that sounds almost like an operatic kazoo, and I always am open to hear everybody else's description of the singular sound it makes. Oh, we're out of tune today. Hold on. Let's get this straight, all right? There you go, the hot tea kettle, ladies and gentlemen, the unofficial 8th wonder of the world. This thing has been with me almost as long as the hand has been together. A good decade. Yes, indeed do, folks. Yes, indeed do. That said, I think I got time for a couple more songs in me if you would like to hear them. Otherwise, just get the hook and pull me off. Oh, yeah. Here's one of the most beautiful songs ever written in 1921 by the great father of stride piano playing and songwriting, mentor to the likes of Fats Waller and many others, Mr. James P. Johnson. Here it is. This is Old-Fashioned Love. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting in the groove now. I always get warmed up by the end of my set. Gotta love it. my heart. No, there it always will remain, baby. My love is like that ivy vine, clinging closer all the time. Through the years, joy and tears, just the same, just the same. I got that old-fashioned faith in my heart. No changes might try and tear us apart. If the dry land changed the sea, if it changed the sea, well, look out. There's never going to be a change in me, baby. I got that old-fashioned love. I got that old-fashioned love. Old-fashioned love in my heart. That was that old-fashioned love by none other than James P. Johnson. He was the man. One of the greatest of great. He taught so many pupils, and he was one of the most just benevolent guys around Harlem. Just took people under his arm, and he was just an amazing figure. That said, I think I got time for one more, and I hope you all enjoy it. Thank you for visiting with me here, and thank you for having me. This is my first time on Magical Memories, and I hope it won't be the last. It's crazy times, but all we can do is attempt to stay positive and grounded and focused and continue to wash our hands, socially distance, wear your mask, carry some sanitizer in your pocket, all that good stuff. We're going to get through this, and we got to do things like this to keep it half sane, as it were, to keep us a little distracted and also just a little happier than we would be otherwise. Tune I learned from the great Billie Holiday. It's called Me, Myself, and I, or as I like to call it, the schizophrenic love song. And it's so apropos to play when you're your own one-man band. And also crazy. Here it is. Me, Myself, and I. Me, myself, and I are all in love with you. We all think you're wonderful, we do. Me, myself, and I have just one point of view. We're convinced there's no one else like you. It can't be denied, dear, you brought the sun to us. We'd be satisfied if you belong to one of us. If you pass me by, 3 hearts will break in two. Me, myself, and I are all in love with you, baby. If you pass me by, 3 hearts will bring it to me, myself, and I are all in love with you, my dear, my baby. All I love with you. Thank you so much, folks. Mwah. See, I didn't touch my mouth. See, I'm trying to be sanitary. Although I'll probably touch my face in the course of the day. You never noticed that until now. I thank you. I thank you so very much. Thank you for your donations to the tip bucket. Again, if you can't read that, the Venmo is Drew-Nugent, and the PayPal is midnightsocietyjazz@gmail.com. And please, please, please visit our Bandcamp site to see all of our musical discography online. And that's drewnugent.bandcamp.com. That's drewnugent.bandcamp.com. And again, a big thank you to Magical Memories. Thank you so much for having me. This was a blast, and I really hope to do it again for you all soon. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you so much. That was fantastic. Awesome, awesome work. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is another week of our virtual shows. I hope everybody enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.